Morning. Oh, I don't know what time it is where you are, and I don't even know what time it is when you'll be receiving this video. It's morning right here in my place, and it's a Saturday, beautiful Saturday with so much rainfall. As of this morning, the weather is clear, it's a dégagé, everywhere is looking bright, and I think that is how it is where you are, even if it is not in a physical environment. I'm sure your spirit is bright. Yeah, I am host Saizwa Anthony Elimike, your usual host. Today, our discussion is still around that subconscious blueprint. Yeah, so today, the last time I said that one of the ways to dislodge a subconscious blueprint is to rise above it. Because whatever has already entered the human mind cannot be defeated. Okay? I will explain to you how it works. Let me just do a quick talk on that. You see, every event in your life, in a human life, has emotions, has a feeling. And then the events are stored as events and then as emotions or feelings along with them. Now, let us assume that you are able to delete the memory of the events, the picture, the actual occurrence. What remains is the memory signal. It leaves some signals behind. You can call them impressions. And the impressions are capable of generating the emotions. This is why when you stop a particular habit, you say, okay, I've ended it. Smoking, drinking, flirting, all those kind of things. And you think it's all over. Yes, it is over. You are no longer doing them. But you see what then happens is that the memory signal is staying in the place where you removed that thing. Okay, it's there. It begins to pull up and begins to remind you from time to time, like beeps. Boom, boom, boom. That's why you see people who stop certain habits, they run away from the environment of where those habits subsist. Because they don't want to be reminded, because it pulls up. So when we talk about memory, really, it's not really the event itself, it is the interpretation that is behind that event that is the memory. It stays. That's why you hear the word forgive and forget. To forgive is to say, okay, I've let go. I'm not going to hold you responsible for the actions anymore. It's over. The forgetting part is not that you should forget the event, but forget the memory, the signals, the meanings, the interpretations, a lot of them that are around that thing. Okay? In Dianetics, we call it percepts. Okay? Percepts with all its symbiotes, all the things that are around it. Let me give you one very simple instance we use in Dianetics now. If, for instance, you had an experience with somebody, let's say a drunkard. Somebody was drunk and you encountered the person, there was an argument, and the person loaded you very well, a good slap on your face, and you saw stars. Okay, you blanked out and you saw stars. Then in the action of slapping, there was a shout around, hey, why do you do such a thing? The color of the man's clothes, the smell from the person, alcohol and everything, they are all parts of the memory. You are not even conscious, they are locked into you. Then the states, of the weather, how the weather was at that time, if there were trees around, everything, emotions around are part of the slap experience. And then what you felt inside the sound track of the slap, they all combine to form the memory signal. Memory signals of that event, they are stored. Okay? Then, maybe someday when you are not, now all of these things happen when you leave your consciousness, because at the time that slap happened, you were in a certain frequency. And trust me, the frequency of accidents is the same as this frequency of a fight. It is a low frequency, low vibrational frequency. At that frequency, all of these memories are there, stored and locked. So when you say you've forgiven this person, the first thing you need to do, because when we say forgiveness is difficult, we know what it means. If you are still in the level, that frequency in which the slap occurred, you can't, trust me. You may pretend, you may speak that I have forgiven you, but you have not. Because that frequency, the bitterness, the pains of the slap are so overpowering, you can't. So you need to elevate yourself beyond that frequency. When you leave that frequency, it's gone. You see, the memory is no longer it's no longer functioning as a signal, a powering signal, a drive signal. You've left that environment, the memory is right here. So it is now an ordinary memory, fine as an event for which you can laugh, you can smile, but not feel bad about it. So forgiveness is easy. So you have actually forgiven and forgotten. You forgive the action, you relented from seeking vengeance, and you have also forgotten how the slap made you feel. Next time, when you see a man in a brown shirt, it will not remind you of the smell of alcohol, nor will it remind you of the slap. If you perceive the smell of alcohol, it will not remind you of the emotions of being slapped. These memories can come and remind you of all these things when you are up there, but it cannot bring the emotions of being made small, of being made cheap. Now, I want to correct something. When I said, when you were slapped by the drunkard, that level was a low vibrational frequency. I'm simply saying this. The man who slapped you, drunk, besotted, down, he is operating at a very low frequency. In fact, frequencies below 150 is down. Now, you met this person, and because we are asking you to forgive this person, right? Now, you met this person, maybe you had an encounter that was unsavory to the man, and he didn't have a temper to lose anymore. He just behaved along the track of his frequency. He loaded his slap, he got angry. That's the word. You got angry and you reacted. Your reaction brings you to that man's frequency at that time. The frequency he was, you got there. So you got to below 150. People held you back. Or the person was so powerful you couldn't retaliate. So you retreated into your shells, you felt very bad. How can he slap you? You started, feeling bad inside, riding inside. It is still the same. You had a negative feeling about the whole situation. You were low. But imagine if you were at a high vibrational frequency. One, you won't have necessitated a slap, even if the man became so mad that he even eventually went ahead to still slap you. You will not have a reaction, you will have a response. Reaction is an impulsive response to a situation. It is a product of interpretation, negative interpretation. He hurts me. The truth is that nobody can hurt you. Nobody can hurt any other person. One who is living an environment of hurt receives hurts. So if you were on a high frequency of say 700, this person will not have the presence of mind to hit you anyway. But if at all by any funny karmic relationship, karmic machination, he finds himself slapping you, you won't respond. Rather, you won't react. You look at him and feel empathy for him. Okay? And then you will forgive him because you don't want to be locked into the karmic wheel of that event so that you don't become bonded together for a long period of time. You let him go. You release him. Okay, that's the purpose of forgiveness. So that you can release people from obligation. Because the person you have not forgiven is tied to you. Wherever that person goes, you go. Because he must pay back that action. That means you have to return that action to that person one way or the other sometime in the future. Would you like to move with people? Because it means that you have to remain that person's frequency for as long as he remains there to get that revenge. Because all the karmic sufferings human beings are supposed to have are at a frequency that are low. If you ascend beyond the frequency, you can't get them. That is just how it is. I will talk about karmic things in one of the videos too. So that is it. You need to be conscious of the blueprint that is on your inside that controls different side of you. So why can't you forgive? Why can't you let go? It is because you are locked in a frequency. Sometimes you rise above a frequency because you listen to music, you are in the right environment, you are having the experience of your life, you are so happy. But listen, that frequency you are now, it's not yours, it's not your default frequency. When the memory of that event comes, you pull down to your frequency, your default frequency. You just leave. People say, hey, what happened? Your mood changed. Yes, something has pulled you. A memory signal has grabbed you and pulled you down. It may not have taken you to that frequency, but it's taking you below your present frequency. You are close to it. As you begin to dwell on that thought, dwell on that emotion, you gradually sink to that frequency. But you see what? Human beings don't stay rooted on the frequency forever. They flow, they vacillate. Okay? In every frequency, there are experiences that are common to that frequency, that are native to that frequency. See frequency as from, say, 50 to 800. 800 being ecstasy, being godly emotions, where nobody can touch you. Okay? 50 being that a dead person is better than you. You can't feel anything anymore. You are at the level of, course, sub-apathy. Okay? This is where manic depressions and all kinds of manic experiences occur. So the lowest to the highest. If, for example, you are at the frequency of 400, which is the frequency of people who take high drugs like cocaine, heroin, all those things, or whatever, you are at that level. You are just powerful. You feel you can do all things, but it is not your frequency, it's a stolen frequency. So when the drug leaves you, you drop to your 50. You see the depression, that's why it is, that is where addiction becomes, strong on people. They can't live because they can't afford to go to that native frequency of theirs, which is 50 or 300. So they must take that high to be there. I keep saying I will talk about addiction. I will do a video on addiction. I don't know why I've not done it. Maybe because I myself am also addicted. There's something you need to know here. Subconscious blueprints. Okay, the mind, what mind has accepted as a norm for you, fights any change that you try to bring to it. It will resist it. For instance, there are people who cannot watch my videos, who can't watch these videos now. You know why? It's not because they wouldn't have loved to watch it, but the teachings, the trainings that have formed them is resisting this video. It is, some people are asking questions, they are wondering, is this another form of religion? And because if their pastor, for example, will come in today and watch this video and likes it and decide to speak about it, they will rush. They want to see the video because they have tied their lives around a certain imagery that is represented by their pastor or their religion. So they won't. And the other resistance you get is the lifestyle that you have created on the basis of the subconscious blueprint. Because what creates your lifestyle is actually your blueprint. It's not you. Don't fool yourself about that. Think that you're the one creating. It's not you. This is why I can look at you and overlook whatever you are saying or doing, because I know it's not you. That's why Christ said, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. It is their communal blueprint that is driving them. We are going far again. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you are conscious, when you live consciously, what will happen is that your subconscious blueprint will not be able to function, because the blueprint is functioning at the subconscious level. When you are conscious, you lock it out. But when you fall out of consciousness, it wakes up. It is an autopilot system. But how often can you be conscious? Keep questions. Now you can now create a questioning system that is not subconscious, that begin to question, how am I feeling? What is going on in my life right now? In that way, you checkmate your blueprint. Until I come and wait next time, I say, says well, stay blessed, stay happy, stay fulfilled.